Hey everybody, welcome back to another very exciting Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I am your host, Jesus Ramirez. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. I see Christina, Roseanne, Viola, Jay, Frank, Chad, Sean, Valdier, Robin, Brad, Shui. Thank you so much for joining me. I also see Michelle, Bianca. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm currently streaming from beautiful Manchester. I'm in the UK. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. That's usually where I stream from, but I am in the UK for the time being. Awesome. It looks like you guys can hear me good. Thank you so much for letting me know. We have Bianca from France. Hey Sam, thanks so much for joining in the chat and for helping out today as always. I really appreciate your help. James from South Texas. Mallory, thank you so much for letting me know that everything sounds good. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, boo. Bianca wrote, boo, Man United. Let me know what team you support, Bianca. Cool. Chewy is in the UK in London. Good morning. We got Jay Co from Mexico. Nice to see you, Jay Co. I was actually born in Mexicali, Baja California, in northern Mexico. Nice to see everybody here in the chat. Well, thank you so much for joining me for another week of the Photo Daily Creative Challenge. This is challenge number 5, I believe. Yeah, challenge number 5. And today we're going to be creating an engrave effect in Photoshop. Before we get started, let me switch over into my screen so that you can see this amazing page, which is the Daily Creative Challenge page. From here, make sure that you click on that big blue button so that you can follow along with me throughout this challenge and you can get notified via the Creative Cloud app. Also, make sure that you scroll down so that you can see these boxes that will unlock every single day. Today we're doing the engraved effect. And the challenge for me was to use the same photo for every single effect that we're going to create in this set of daily creative challenges. You don't have to do that. You can use a different photo for every single creative challenge if you like, but I'm using the same one, so you're probably already familiar with that photo. If you're not, you can just click on the Get Started button to download that file. And if I go too fast or you want to rewatch something, these videos are recorded. You can always come back and click on the Watch Video button so that you can watch the replay. Also, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure that you head over into behance.net/live, behance.net/live, because if you're leaving comments on YouTube, I cannot see your comments. I can only see them from Behance. So make sure that you come over so that you could talk to us and hang out here with us. I see that we have Octavio from Angola. Hey, Octavio, how's it going? Chewy saying that this is going to make him a pro at Photoshop. I hope so. Awesome, cool. Sean is see, like, Sean's comments always make me laugh. He wrote a grave effect, not Halloween yet. I forgot what you wrote last week, but I just remember laughing at what you wrote. I think we were talking about, I don't know, was it Premiere? I don't know. I think I said Premiere instead of like Lightroom. I forget. But anyway, another thing that I wanted to tell you guys about is that you can click on this community chat link and go into the current challenges page, and you'll see the current challenges. We worked on a face paint effect last time. By the way, Frank, this is an awesome design. I really like it. Then we worked on this mosaic effect. We've done all kinds of different challenges in the last week, and hopefully this week you can follow along with more challenges that you enjoy and that teach you a lot about Photoshop and how to create your own designs. So yep, under current challenge. And actually, before I forget, I'm going to add a file in here called engrave effect. That's a pattern file, and I'm just going to load it in there, and I'll call it for today's DCC, because the actual file that we uploaded into behance.net doesn't actually have this, so that was my bad. I'll get it updated, but it's not there now, so I'll upload it into the Discord page, and you'll see what this is in a moment. So it's an engrave effect.pattern file, and that will be right there. There it is. So when I reference that in the video or in the stream, that's what I'm referring to. But I'll make sure that this gets updated also on Behance. But there it is for now. Cool. Also, make sure that when you submit your work, not only you submit it into Behance, into Discord, but you also submit it into behance.net. You can come and click on create a project. If you don't know how to do that, watch the welcome stream. I went through all the steps. But the important thing is that you need to use the hashtag for the creative challenges, in this case PS Daily Challenge, or if you're working on the Illustrator or XD Challenge, make sure to use the corresponding hashtags so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in the Creative Challenges curated community gallery, which is this right here. You can come and check out all the amazing work and get inspired. So make sure that you use those hashtags when you upload into Behance to be featured on this gallery, to have an opportunity to be featured on this gallery. And also, everybody here is on Behance. That's why you're watching me. So make sure you follow me on Behance, behance.net/JR from PTC. If you're watching live, there should be a link somewhere in the chat with my name. Click on that and click on the follow button, and so you can see the work that I've done and also watch some of the recordings for the other streams and challenges that I've done. So this is where you can find them. Okay, so once again, today is challenge number 5, engraved effect. Again, make sure to download the 2 sample files, one on Discord for now and the other one here on behance.net. And again, I'll make sure that we get the pattern file uploaded into this box, but I couldn't do it now, so we'll do that after. But it's there for you on Discord if you need it. Also, just because you may be watching a recording, if you're watching a recording, that's the link for Discord right up above my head. All right, so let me go into Photoshop, and this is the photo that we've been working with last week, and we'll continue to work with it this week. Before we do anything else, let me just make sure if there's any questions in the chat. Just a bunch of people saying hello. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for that compliment, Octavio. I really appreciate that. And what we're going to do now is simply work on an engrave effect, sort of like what you would see like in an American dollar bill, you know, the engraving lines that you see when an engraver engraves something and then you put it on a piece of paper. We're going to try to replicate that effect, but we're going to try to do it very, very simply and easily, not with a lot of work, but it would still create a really good design. So what I'm going to start with is by just double clicking on that file. So that file that you download, the engrave effect, will just add a pattern to your patterns library. So if you go into Window and Pattern, you'll see this engrave. Well, actually I have it twice now, but that's okay. It's the same thing twice. You'll see that engrave effect patterns here. And it's just 3 patterns that you can drag and drop, and they create different effects like you see here. That's all they are. They just create those wavy lines. Originally, my plan was to do that during the Daily Creative Challenge, and I realized that I couldn't do it all in 30 minutes. So I decided to just create these files, and you can use them if you like, and you can create your own in Illustrator. But the point is that those are the files that we're going to use for this effect. And what we need to do is we're going to extract our model here from the background. The easiest way to do that is to go into the properties panel, make sure that the layer is unlocked and that you're working with a pixel layer, not a smart object, and you can click on remove background, and that removes the background. And for this effect, we're going to create a solid color fill layer and fill that with white and place that below the model. By the way, if you want to be fancy, you can hold Control on Windows, Command on the Mac, and use the bracket keys on the keyboard. Those are next to the letter P in North American keyboards, and they allow you to move the layers up and down without having to click and drag them. So I'm holding Control and the left bracket key to go down, Control and the right bracket key to go up. That's Command on the Mac. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Any questions so far? It looks like there are no questions. Just a bunch of people saying hello from NC, North Carolina. I hope I'm getting that right. I don't know if I'm remembering all my state abbreviations. Cool. So again, I'll place that color fill layer on the bottom there. And what I'm going to do now is create a vibrance adjustment layer, clip it to the layer below so that this adjustment layer only affects the layers below, and I'm just going to desaturate the image so that we have a black and white image like you see there. Next, I'm going to create a pattern fill layer, and I'm going to select one of the patterns that I just downloaded or installed rather into my computer. We have this one, and this one. We'll see which one looks best. We'll start with this one, and I can bring the scale down to maybe 75% and press OK. And this is where the magic happens. All you need to do is simply click on this drop down to change the blending mode, and the blending mode that we're going to use is hard mix, and it already starts creating that engrave effect. And you can of course double click on the pattern fill and click and drag to sort of place the pattern accordingly over the image wherever you think it looks best. Maybe set it to 50%. Yeah, I think maybe 50% might be the way to go. I can double click on I should have double clicked on the hand tool to fit the image to screen, but I can just zoom in to an appropriate zoom level. Now, a really cool thing that you can do with patterns in Photoshop, starting with Photoshop 2020, is that you can rotate them. So if you're unhappy with where your pattern is, you can just rotate it to a different area like so, and the pattern rotates. So you can rotate your pattern and it looks super, super cool. In this case, I don't want to rotate it. What I'm gonna do instead is create an effect to make it seem like there's more there's more of an engravement in darker areas. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to duplicate the same pattern fill layer just by pressing Control J on Windows, Command J on the Mac. And what I'm going to do now is, with this top one selected, I can rotate it. So I'll rotate it 45 degrees and it looks like that. And I could also, set it to maybe 25%, and we'll see if that works. Obviously, this doesn't look very good, but you can sort of already see the effect that we get when these patterns overlap. And what I'm gonna do now is simply set it so that this second layer only affects the darker areas of the photo. So in the shadows, you're gonna see a stronger engraving effect. And the way that you would do that is by simply disabling all these layers except for the black and white. So we have a black and white image. And what you want to do is use a keyboard shortcut that I don't see a lot of people using. If you press Control Alt and the number 2, that's Command Option and the number 2 on the Mac, that will load the bright pixels as a selection. So right now I'm selecting the eye, the highlights, anything that is bright, but I'm not really selecting the hair, and I'm not selecting a lot of the shadows. I want to do the opposite, but that's easy to do. So let me just enable this layer and delete the pattern fill layer mask and create a layer mask. And there you go. But I have the opposite. I'm applying that effect to the bright areas. To do the opposite, all I need to do is press Control I on Windows, Command I on the Mac to invert, or I can click on this invert button. Either or, I prefer the keyboard shortcut. But the point is that when you zoom, you can see that you start applying that effect on the darker areas. And you can keep just adjusting it accordingly. Obviously, in this case, I need to come and maybe adjust the scale. I can probably go into 75. Actually, you know what? I think what I'll do instead of adjusting the scale, one thing that I would recommend adjusting is the actual mask. Because if you hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, and click on the layer mask, you'll notice that the mask is relatively bright. Even in the darker areas, it's pretty bright. So what I want to do is I want to make those brighter areas completely black on the mask so that they're invisible, so that it makes the engravement invisible in those areas. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I go into Image Adjustment Levels, I can adjust the levels and see how I'm just making the darker areas darker, like so. So basically the only thing that is bright now is his hair, maybe his eyebrows, his facial hair, and his jacket, and I can just keep adjusting it accordingly. I'm going to cancel this because I want you to see what happens when we're doing the same thing but in the actual composite view. So once again, I'll hold Alt on Windows, Option in the Mac, and click on the layer mask. And with the layer mask selected, I'll go into Image Adjustment Levels, and I'll adjust it accordingly. See that? See how now I'm adjusting how basically the brightness of this particular design. And obviously you can spend all day fine tuning it and getting the right results like so. So as you can see, we have just a little bit of the hash marks here, and you know what? I think we may need to even brighten those areas. So once again, image adjustment levels and adjust accordingly. Maybe like right here. And press OK. And if you're zoomed out to the 100% view, you're going to get a better view. And you can always come back and make adjustments. Maybe I'll try 50% and see what that looks like. I think I like that better here in the hair. And maybe I'll adjust this one to maybe 75. See what that looks like. I don't know. I think I like 50 better. We'll try 25 just to see. That looks kind of cool as well. So it really depends on the effect that you want to go for. 25 looks good in this case. I don't know. Let me know what you guys like better, 25 or 50. So that's 50. And this is 25. I'll wait a minute to read the comments in the chat. I know that there's a little bit of a lag. And I'll give you a chance for you guys to respond my question. Meanwhile, I'm going to scroll up and see if there's any questions. Cool. Christina said she never seen the remove background feature before. That was added in Photoshop 2020, although the select subject has been there for over a year. How did you import the effect into Photoshop? If you're talking about the pattern file that I submitted into or uploaded up to Discord, you can just double click on it and it'll install in Photoshop. Let me see if there's any other questions. And by the way, what I just said is only true for Photoshop Creative Cloud. I'm not sure if CS6 or older has the same capability. Cool. Just a bunch of people saying hello, saying hi. Mia said, wait, what? That's an awesome tip. I don't know what that tip was, but I'm glad you liked it, Mia. Cool. Heather said you need to watch the replay. Yeah, that's why we have the replay, so that you can go back and watch it if there's something that you missed. Cool. Oh, I see a lot of people saying 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. All right, we're going to go with 25. Everybody seems to like 25 better. Sanket said 35%. All right, he's cutting it into... Oh, Sean said 37. Nice. We have a bunch of 25. Cool. Must set size to 100 before making a choice. That's very true, Frank. Setting I'll leave it at 25 from now. Setting the size to 100 will literally make you'll see what the actual engraving looks like. So, my laptop right now is on a 4K display, so the size for this image looks tiny on it. So I need to zoom in so that I could get a better idea of what it's looking like. But you are correct about that. Cool. So we'll just leave this here for now, and you can keep adjusting and fine-tuning it any way that you want. Remember that you can also come in here and rotate the original pattern, but I do like it at 45 degrees, so that's where I'll leave it. Just wanted to mention that you could do that on the second one as well. And what we're going to do now is you can come in here and just use the levels adjustment layer to adjust the overall brightness of the image. See that? See how I'm bringing out some of the detail that was lost in those shadows? So you can certainly do that. Use any of the sliders to help you get the effect that you like. Totally up to you. And then to finalize the effect, you can click on this icon and add a gradient map. And a gradient map simply allows you to apply a color to a pixel based on its brightness value. And you can double click on black, for example. So right now the darkest pixel is set to black, which makes it black on screen. But if I set it to red, now the darkest pixel is red. And if we wanted to make this like a dollar bill or something like that, we could select this dark greenish color, press OK, and instead of white, we'll just do like an off white with a little bit of maybe green or yellowish tint, like so. And we have something that looks a lot like a dollar bill. Again, you can always come in here and make any adjustments that you want. I always like working on a non-destructive workflow, but just adjust it any way that you want. One thing that I should mention is that these layers these 3 layers right here, the 2 pattern layers and the levels adjustment layer. I didn't clip them to the layer below because the background was white and I wasn't going to do anything with the background. But if you decide to do something with the background, then you should clip them to your model layers so that when you apply maybe a different pattern to the background, let me just apply a quick pattern here, quick pattern to the background, it doesn't really affect the design. Otherwise, those layers will also affect the background. So then you can find something that works for you. Cool. Let me see if there's any other questions. Sean wrote, once you master this effect, start printing money ASAP. Yeah, especially if you're using your own face, Sean. I'm sure people will fall for it. What tool should we begin with while matching the background? I'm not really sure what you mean by that question, Mitesh. Maybe you can expand on it and I can answer it for you. What is the banana tool? Mario, oh my God, it looks like you're new here. So the banana tool is a tool that I have in Photoshop. I always work with it. It doesn't do anything, but if you click on the 3-dot icon and go into edit toolbar and hold shift and click on done, it will add a banana to your toolbar. And it's just there for fun. It doesn't do anything. It just makes you happy. That's what it does. Yeah, Christy, you have to remember the angles to avoid a more effect. That's correct. Let's see. Janice wrote, well, he got his face on the dollar bill. Cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this technique or if you have any questions. Before I let you go, I do have to mention the schedule. So we started the day with Evan Abrams doing a how to animate a scene. Then we're doing the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with me. Right after me at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, we have Steffi Lynn doing hand lettering. Then at 11:30, we have the awesome Ryan Tranny doing Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, Paula Tranny. And we, at noon Pacific, we have Andrea Marquez doing mobile app design. Andrea Epi at 2 p.m. Pacific doing the XD Daily Creative Challenge. And we're going to finish the day doing a doodle therapy with Alice Lee and Ryan Putnam at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So it's a fun-filled day. Make sure that you stick around the entire day and check them all out. Also, talking about sticking around and checking things out, I just published a new video today on my YouTube channel. So if you're not familiar with it, go check it out. You can watch it after you watch all the Adobe Lives in case you still want to learn more about Adobe and Photoshop and all that good stuff. So new video on my YouTube channel today. Check it out if you like. Let me see. There's a question by Ted. Are there more of these engraved patterns available? I only provided 3, but you can either make your own, and I'm sure you can find a whole bunch online. They're just basically squiggly lines that just repeat seamlessly. So I'm sure you wouldn't have any problems finding those. Cool. And let me see if there's any other questions. Mia wrote, the banana is our secret society symbol for Photoshop. All right, that's what it'll be from now on, Mia. The banana is the symbol for our secret Photoshop society here at Adobe Live. Yep, JR. Did I really say that? Do I talk that fast that I just cut words out of my sentences, John? I always, with the banana tool, I always work with the banana tool. I'm just looking at the time and I just see the seconds going by so quickly that I talk fast and I cut words. Awesome. And also, let me know what your favorite pizza is. We had an awesome conversation about pizza last week. Everybody was typing in the chat what their favorite pizza was. So it was a great conversation. Cool. Thank you so much, Steven. Steven wrote, thank you for your great content. I have learned a lot from your videos. Thank you, Michelle. Awesome. Oh, thanks, Sam, for posting my new video on the chat. You can click on it, save it for later. Make sure that you stick around here on Adobe Live. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow for another Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Make sure that you submit your work onto Discord so that me, myself, and the rest of the community team could answer your questions or just give you an opinion if you ask for it. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow. See you soon and take care. Bye.